Welcome to Bragg and Boat Business, sponsored by Cowboy Trail Brewery. Cheers to the West. This week, we sit down with Aaron Archer of Archer Custom Fabrication. Aaron has built a great business in the Bragg Creek area, providing custom design and welding projects from gates and interior finishing to horse tack trailers, and has even been tapped to design and create unique art installations. He's a family man, military veteran, artist, and an incredibly hardworking gentleman. Enjoy. Aaron Archer from Archer Custom Fabrications.
That is I.
Well, welcome to Bragg and Boat Business.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, we're happy to have you on for sure, but looking forward to having a good conversation with you. So, Archer Custom Fabrication, how did it come about?
Well, it was always a long time idea that I've had since I was a kid, watching shows like Overhauling and just Biker Build Off and those kind of Jesse James and those kind of talents that were out there, still out there. That was getting me inspired. I don't come from a background of fabrication, so a lot of it was just inspired through what I saw through the television. I don't watch TV now, which is kind of ironic.
It started the fire, though.
It started the fire.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have got accustomed to it if not. But from there, I was into hockey, actually, growing up. I played right up until junior A, for the Fernie Ghost Riders, a couple years there, and managed to get a scholarship to play for SAIT. And then instead of kind of going down that road, it was kind of like starting to feel the body at that time, getting beat up. And that was kind of my role on the teams that I was playing.
Takes its toll.
It does. It was a little bit different game back then. A lot of more...
Less cuddly?
Yeah, a lot more was let go. Let's say the whistle wasn't so well used. So yeah, I was beat up and he wasn't going to go to the pros in Europe or in North America here. So I used my advantage of being at a college to go and sign up for a trade and started my apprenticeship in welding kind of backwards. How it normally happens is you go to a company and you'll work with them, maybe even pushing a broom right up until, if you're, apt enough, they'll sign you as an apprentice.
Yeah, exactly.
You get your hours, and then as soon as you have your hours, then they'll send you to school. And that's usually how it goes. Mine was, I luckily had a little bit of money saved up and this already into the college. So I kind of used that to go to a program called Pre-Careers at the time for welding.
They got a great program.
They do, yeah. And it's a little more fast-tracked out of high school now into these programs, but it was nice to be able to have no experience, come out with experience, or at least enough to get into a shop and not be completely, inept with the
You're
equipment.
useful at that point.
That's right, yeah. You can look at yourself in the mirror at the end of the day, but that turned out to be not the way that it even works. You do get skill, but you learn so much in the field that it's good to have that background, but it's underrated how much you learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doing the job.
Yeah.
So that's how I got in. As soon as I graduated, I had my last year as an apprentice. My third year was 2008. Pretty much the economy pretty much dropped out.
Yeah, sure did.
Opportunities that were there were about 20 welders fighting for a few positions, and the whole market turned upside down at that point, even though there was still lots of potential. And so 9/11 had kind of happened right around that time, and I have a brother who's still currently serving, and me and him, prior to our parents getting together, were best friends, and we had played hockey together, and that's how that always talked about going into the military. And so this seemed like the right, a move as far as personally at the time, economically, and it was a life experience that I would never take back. All those things that the politics of it all that are unfortunate. But as far as, going from a hockey background and then into the trades and then right into the Army, it was just lots of drills, a lot of
structure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
A lot of structure, a lot of like meeting deadlines, a lot of meeting timings, a lot of, let's say, people's opinions, whether you appreciate it or not, or given to you, and you have to choke down You have to swallow your pride, and there's a lot of things that you learn by doing that. And
yeah, of course,
at the time you think it's a more immature kind of look at it, but in retrospect and the skills that you take from it, you're not always going to agree with people.
But you don't have to be enemies either.
That's right. And you still should treat them every time with some form of respect. And it's usually the person that loses their composure first is the one that loses.
True.
You learn a lot is kind of what I'm getting at. I had one 9-month tour in Afghanistan, and that was enough experience in the army that I needed. I was frontline army infantry, walking, the poppy fields and marijuana fields of Afghanistan. And then as soon as I got out or back, I made the moves to essentially retire. And so I had a 3-year kind of stint in the army, retired as a private. But I was a journeyman welder. Actually, at that point, I went back and got some experience.
Right.
As a welder that I didn't get prior to 2008 for about 6 years, 5-6 years.
Right. Yeah. Paying your dues?
Paying my dues, learning from some of the best fitters out there at the time. Again, if I didn't have the military before this experience, I would have taken a lot of the training / mentoring that I received in some of the specifically Rostel Industries. They're a division of precision drilling. They build pretty much their rigs from scratch. And I was put under one of their top fitters, and he, if I didn't have that military experience, I would have taken a lot of the things that he was saying and how he was saying it personally.
Sure.
And, the lessons that I learned there wouldn't have been taken. So everything happens for a reason.
Exactly.
And, that was a good reason to really buckle down and start to understand how my trade really forms into design, that forms into drafting the design, to engineering, and into finishing, and into the rest of all of what the trade actually entails. So I've been able to kind of do that from square one, right from the welding and figuring out how to make an arc happen to making the drawings themselves. And
there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just pulling a trigger on a welding torch and laying down a bead.
Yeah, a lot of people think that's what it is, but it's probably 10% of what's going on.
Yeah.
So that's once you're to welding, 95% of the work's done. Right. So, I would say the most important skills really would be to understand how the drawings, how the plan actually is carried out.
Right.
All the steps, like where to source the material, right, to what kind of, machines, or what can you do? What do you have to source out? And as a small company like myself, I have to use a lot of other smaller companies to get the job done. So it's not just the trade now, it's dealing with people. And
the military prepares you for that.
That's right. Yeah. You have to represent not just your idea, but what Canada, in my mind, represented at the time. And so, you're the face of the company too.
Yeah, 100%.
It depends on how you look at it. But and that is sometimes a very difficult thing to do, especially if you're trying to sell yourself, or if customer catches you off guard with a few questions, or like a redesign we've had a few times where you go to install something and, the customer looks at it and they're like, could we do this too? And you're like, man, it's done. Like, I'm putting it in, and you're having to be like happy at that time, in the end, you're getting paid to do a retrofit or whatever it is. And you can't get that attached to what you're doing
it's true. That can be hard sometimes.
Yeah. You get attached to these things.
Yeah.
Right? So
and you want to finish the job,
and you want to get paid.
Yeah.
You want to move projects along, because it's not necessarily the project that you're working on or with this customer that you may be setting back. And in my case, it's maybe 2 or 3 people. And, I do have some patience in my customer's view, because they have an understanding of what this will help.
Yeah.
But, as far as like, we are taking on a lot of really interesting projects. We plan to grow in amazing ways, big ways. And as far as like what we can do, there really isn't we can pretty much manage most things. Size is really our biggest kind of constraint. But even if that is the case, we could always rent space. We could always bring in more welders, more equipment, etc. So we're kind of at a point where we're trying to show our capability. And I say because I do bring in some other fabricators to help me along. My wife is part of the team.
There you go.
But
and your wife's name?
My wife's name is Megan.
Megan? All right. Hello, Megan.
other big portion of Archer Custom Fabrication. It keeps things on schedule as best we can. And if you have any questions or concerns when we are in a project with you, we really try to do everything we can to have like a quick turnover in whether it's messaging, you got a comment, a question, or design change, or however it goes. We've got to stay on top of it because of how busy we've become, and we plan on getting it.
Good communication.
That's right. I find, and I'm not trying to be disparaging on the rest of everybody, but Bragg Creek's been great. I have to say that, but everyone else seems to be the customer service is secondary.
Oh,
and,
my goodness.
The bigger the conglomerate company, the worse it gets. So
yeah, the less people care.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it's nice to deal with the small companies, and
it is.
We have kind of a philosophy that if we can, we will. So rental companies, and I mentioned Rogers Rental. Well, some things I can't find smaller, like the jack stands I need for this, and the rollers are that's 16,000 pounds. There's not many places I know where to get that.
No. Those aren't an everyday need. So you've been 20 some years then in welding.
Yeah.
In welding, right?
Plus,
Archer Custom Fabrication started.
It's been 15 years, I think. Just over 15 years since we started the company itself. It was Arc Weld Limited.
Okay.
We did a name change and made it official, and attached the work to the name, and so that's also part of like the whole idea of the name change. It's like I do stand behind my work, so if something is
your name's on the business.
It's it. So that was the whole idea. Is I hope people appreciate that, and if they find me on social media, I am me. I'm not under a tag name. I'm not nothing. So my opinions are mine.
Legit. Yeah. No, that's good. And you've had that creative drive in you since you were a young person watching those custom fab shows.
You bet. So I got into drawing, and that's got like a hidden talent. I do all of the contracts that I landed in the last 2 years have been from a sketch. They are 3-dimensional or isometric sketches. I try to put your house in the background of your fence, and
probably a customer has an idea of what they want, but they don't have a blueprint for this thing. So you got to design it for them.
That's right. And to scale, it's always, I always, if they're good with the design, we go to scale. So even my perception of their scale may be skewed slightly, but at least I can give them an idea what it looks like maybe in front of, I'm referencing, let's say, a front gate or something
like that. Yeah.
I draw the front gate in reference to their house or in reference to something that they know the size of. And I can kind of visually determine what 7 feet high or 20 feet wide is, and whatever. But that's been my talent in this, and something I'll carry on, and something like Chip Foose of Overhauling or whatever. Like, if you ever watch the show, he draws out the car that he's gonna make, and I always thought that was amazing just in itself.
Yeah, just that visual, right?
And how well he did it.
Yeah.
It was not like, that's an artist who just drew that.
That's
let
right.
alone he creates what that piece was, and that was inspiring in so many ways. It brought in like anything you can dream of, you could make.
That's
and it's just like, as long as you learn the skills to right from drawing, because he's not, this guy's not just building cars. He's got to first have the idea to alter the Camaro in that way.
And know it's structurally will be okay.
That's right. Yeah. And not like anger everybody in the Camaro, universe, and like have that kind of, but to see it first was always part of the spark, I guess. And that's really what sells all the ideas that I have, is like, wow, not only can you draw it, but if you can draw it, you can likely make it. So it was an easy kind of easier sell, let's say. But
of course,
the next thing they get is a CAD version of the drawing, and now it's scaled, and say yay or nay to the materials that we use in comparison to each other, because mine might not be exact.
Of course.
Obviously.
Yeah. No, that's excellent. I remember I was talking with Rob Sawchuk from Turkey and Pistols, and he's a creative guy. He's been in marketing, and he's an artist and plays music and all those kinds of things. We got talking about AI, and click of a button now you can design pretty much anything just by typing in a prompt, and spits out an image or whatever you want, right? But he was telling me, he goes, when you actually do it yourself, when you actually get the pencil out and you draw it, something chemically changes in your brain, your body.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you actually create it and then you print it out, or, in his case, he's putting it on a t-shirt or a sweater or something like that. I imagine it's got to be the same thing for somebody like you too. That's, you come create something out of nothing. And then it's a physical, tangible object.
I look at AI as a tool. So you can let any tool, like your creative process, or it take it away. And I do think that there is a fine line with AI.
Yeah.
I find that there's a sense of something lost, even for the customer when you're representing it's you, but it's not you. There's something lost. There's a sense of cohesion or a lie there or whatever. I'm not trying to disparage the use of AI, but because I really
there's a genuine element missing of it.
Like I tend to think that AI is a good thing. It's helping educate and allow people to go down alleys of thought, of searching, of their own making that maybe wasn't ever possible before if you didn't have a library card or access to a library or even know how to read. Maybe video was better for you. So the creative process for me, though, is I'll ask my customers first, I always want to use a gate. Gates are not all I do. I'm literally working on a gate right now. So it's just coming to my mind. And so I'll ask, or I'll give 10 recommendations I'll go on the internet and I'll go Google search, say in this case, arced gates, pretty much that.
And then some ideas.
Yeah, I'll get various based on the house, the way the house looks. We'll kind of incorporate arches if there's some arches in the house. I'm looking at my house right now. There's all square windows. We do have an arch around. So, I would recommend or give versions of both.
Something to complement it.
Yep. Yeah. And the idea is that I can't spend a lot of time doing it. So it's usually 10, and AI can help me with that. So that's why it can help me with these things to give them an idea of what alleyway are we going to go down? What kind of style of whatever that we're going to down? Okay. So you picked, now I'm going to use that idea and I'm going to use the way your house looks, maybe a few other inspirations. Maybe we've talked about some things that you want incorporated.
Sure.
And we're going to put it all together in a drawing. And then you're going to say yay or nay. I like it, or could we change this, and this? And then that's all on me to be able to do for you before I start charging, which is a lot. Bargain, which is a lot more than most people. It's probably more than I should give, but it's part of this. It's part of the artwork. It's part of the end result.
The service.
This is all pre-thought about. It's not bought and resold to you. If you like it, then it goes to my brother-in-law. He's a journeyman red seal as well, but he's gone down the AutoCAD route. Then he can give us a scaled, perfect version of the gate that will mitigate any kind of issues. We can, at that point, we've asked for usually a 25% deposit on larger things, and that usually covers the ordering of the material and getting all the design work done, getting everything set up and ready to build your project.
Right.
And after that point, we get down to sourcing all the pieces and materials, we then have to make sure that's available.
Yes.
And that's sometimes a design change, but stainless steel, aluminum, or mild steel. And we can galvanize the mild steel and powder coat the mild steel or paint the mild steel if it's going outside, or whatever finishes you want.
Gotcha.
Really. So that's kind of where it ends up going. Sourcing, building, finally get to welding the 5%.
That's right.
And then the finishing and the installation is my least favorite part of the I like the outcome. I like seeing it up there, but it's all nerve-wracking.
No kidding. Is it going to fit? Has anything changed?
Are the roads in Calgary going to allow me to get the piece there without totally coming apart at the seam?
Yeah.
And really, the things that we can make concentrated on gates, fences, furniture, interior finishes. So we did a vestibule, a glass wall, essentially.
Yeah.
A wine room window, wine room door, this raised bar that I was talking about, having to extend in all directions and add a few things to. No problem, we'll do it. As much as I'm like, no, inside, you won't know it. You won't know it. You're like, oh, he's happy about this. But no, it's all part of the game, and don't think that if you run into that situation with me that I'm not gonna help you out with it.
You're gonna come across a solution.
I'm good for the design stuff unless it's proprietary, like it's something that I see a long term kind of deal with, which I'm for. I had a customer come to me with a horse trailer, and the problem with many horse trailers is the saddle racks that they have on them. Saddles are fairly heavy. I'm no cowboy, but I imagine they're probably, depending on what kind of attachments you've got to it, where they store it in the back, at least for many of the trailers, store it in the back. They have a little separate kind of compartment beside the main room. Yeah, tack room.
Yeah.
And they've got a rack, just a stationary rack that kind of is slide out kind of with a hinge.
Okay.
But customer is older. I don't want to say you're old. You're not that old, but you're
very experienced.
Yeah, experienced in life, a little more than I am. And anyway, it would have been hard for me. So it's not even a knock at him, but you'd have to be at probably around 7 feet. It was right up there, and then the next one's a little lower, or whatever. And
sure,
you have to get into the compartment and you have to pull it out. It's just bad on the back.
100%.
So you present your problem. I'll do a little research. I'll go on YouTube, see
somebody's had the same problem
this
before.
This is a problem.
Yeah.
Like people got this problem. There was an interesting contributor to this whole deal, but the customer was saying, I bought this trailer because of this.
Uh-huh.
So who cares about the trailer? This is why I bought it. And I was like, well, let's check this out. And sure enough, it was a pretty cool idea where, you had an arm that was attached to the base and was lowered via a cable. So you would bring it off the wall and it would come down and lowered right in front of the person outside of the door.
Oh, fantastic.
So it would lower from that height all the way to right down to your waist height.
Yeah.
And you can just slip it off nice and easy. It's outside the door, so you're not having to get in there.
Yeah.
It didn't give me enough of the video to show all the ins and outs of this.
But you had the general idea.
Drew it out on the workbench and went to work. And sure enough, it works great. The customer, like, what is this? This is not what I asked for. But he just yells to his wife, "You gotta see this!" Those are the moments.
Blown away, right?
Yeah, my wife's like, "I caught that on the security camera. That's the best. That's the best." Those are the time. Those are what I live for, honestly. It's like where someone doesn't expect to go above and beyond.
Yeah.
In the end, you not only solve the problem.
How many customers is he going to refer to you?
Yeah. And so a product like that, just throwing it out there, that's something that I could take some time and really build it back and build it into a product where
exactly.
I could foresee,
especially in this area, there's nothing but horse ranchers.
A big time.
Yeah.
Like, let alone you make it so it's just you buy it from Costco type deal, like one and bolts into anything type deal. Right?
Yeah.
Well, those are the things that I'm looking out for in the future. So if you have ideas or problems that need a solution that I don't know about, I mean, those are the things that are, to me, in my field, are gold. So what I've been trying to think about is there's a lot of small fabrication companies in the area that don't necessarily work together. Mm-hmm. They don't necessarily work against each other either, even though they may be bidding on same projects. But when you have those kind of ideas, it would be nice to have a community of fabricators that could build 1,000 of those per order.
That's right.
Instead of a Chinese conglomerate.
Right. Source it in Canada.
That's it. So who knows in the future? I foresee that being probably what takes over a lot of the business in the future is building a lot of the inventions that are made out, as well as doing custom things, because that's why we got into the solutions, essentially. So, that's kind of what's the gravy, is watching your customers, reactions to...
Be blown away.
Yeah, they don't see it the way you do, and when they do, it's amazing.
Archer, custom fabrication, you're nestled in the hills between Priddis and Bragg Creek. Beautiful countryside, beautiful view outside your shop here. Your shop's great. You got all the tools and toys in here to make everything necessary. As far as, and you mentioned before about, creating a community of fabricators that, you could lean on, bounce ideas off. So who else is doing this kind of work in this area?
There's Burnham, Vagra Steel.
Vagra, okay.
He's just off on our way to Millerville, essentially, from here.
Yeah, on the highway there.
There's Creekside Welding, who's just down the road, and he's more into pipe and spooling, but does custom fabrication as well. He's given us some work, and Burnham's helped us out with. It's great, actually. I just think that it's a fledgling thing. It's just I haven't approached any of these guys about that. They're going to hear it and probably agree, but there's no, at least as far as I know, there's no collaboration right now in order to take, let's say, a part of a bigger contract, or,
you do these posts, and I'm going to do this attachment, and
or like I said, I got an order of 1,000 of these things. I can't do them all. I don't have the right piece of machinery or whatever. How can I work you into it? Or it's just about sitting down with people that are interested, businesses that are interested, that are small, that really cover each other off, whether it's like equipment or jobs or manpower or whatever.
100%. Like, I mean, it's not an inexpensive trade to get into. There's a lot of startup costs.
Oh, huge. Yeah.
Right. So if you're able to share those tools, like, you get a nice press here now.
Yeah.
I'm guessing not a lot of the guys in the community have one.
No, I went over to Burnham, and they were very nice at letting me use theirs, and that's kind of what I'm saying. And now I can help in my own way, and that's where we're heading. I know the other gentlemen that own the other companies that were mentioned, and ones that aren't, that are in the area, and I just haven't met yet, and I'm sure would be as well. And so something in the future to think about.
Start your own collective of fabrics.
Yeah.
Well, that's you even mentioned, like, your idea long term is to have your children join the business eventually.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I imagine that these other business owners are of the same ilk. They think the same way, and what a better way to do it than to kind of establish yourself as a network and your own place in it. And when you have wins, not just you, and that's part of it too, is something I do miss about being in the military or being on a hockey team or in competitive sports in general, is just that the team wins and you get that selfless feel from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. What kind of challenges did you immediately have to overcome? Because you had the skill.
It was me, really. It really just came down to, not having the experience or people around me that knew how to run a business. You have to sell yourself and your things. And so, let alone not having the processes and the procedures and the connections. And there's just a lot that
steep learning curve.
Yeah. There's a lot that you don't know you need. And so I think the first 5 years roughly was just a lot of stepping in my own way, learning and meeting people, learning to, express myself and to get my point out, and to do it in a way that's, respectful.
What kind of advice would you have a young person? Maybe they got their ticket, they've done their schooling, and they want to go out on their own and start fabricating. What kind of advice would you give these kids?
Go to the shops that you're looking to get a job and present yourself, be ready for that test, and pass that test. Don't expect an email to get answered. Don't expect your resume to get looked at. Go in there with fire in your heart. And if you want this to be your trade and what you want to do, you have to stand out. And my comment with Kieran Kettle of Muay Thai, I go 3 times a week. Me and him are good friends. Is that I feel like the youth, and not just the youth, but in our society in general, they lack grit.
Yeah. Stick-to-itiveness.
That's right. They let things affect them. They're allowing their emotions to call the shots. So what I would say is to go against that feeling and look for someone to say no to you. Look for the no.
Builds character.
That's right. Go in there and tell them who you are, what you're willing to do, and mean it. And if they say no, you've done everything you could. If you leave it all on the table, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe the first no is a test.
And that's right. And if you do get a no, why I'm saying no is because what you learn after a no, right, is what I'm getting at. That's the grit.
Yeah.
That's, if you've had people say yes to you your whole life, you haven't learned what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This trade is all about, like, you come into brick walls all the time. Whether it's in design or whether it's a customer's idea, you got to come up with something. You got to You run in, you have maybe one of your subcontractors make something that's not quite right. You come back, you try to fit it. It's not right at all. Like now your customer's standing in front of you. Like, what is going on? What do you do? And that's the grit I'm talking about. So the only way to get that is experience, is to get your feet dirty, your hands dirty. So my advice is to get in there. Don't do it with online. Get in, go talk to the man. Tell me who to talk to. I want to talk to the foreman. I want to give him my resume. That kind of forwardness, and I'm not going to take no for an answer.
Ambition.
So lacking that it's, when you do it, I just gave myself chills. I want somebody to come here and do that.
Yeah.
I want to work. I want, and I would be like, all right, go over there, grab that helmet and get to work.
Sell me on you.
Yeah. So I want to see that fire in a young kid's heart that I have for my life right now, that I didn't have it right away. It's something that you build, you build, and the world will light it for you, like depending on what you find important. The military was necessary to tell me why. As far as the young people, I wouldn't look at what the world is putting in front of you as what your destiny is.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. They're not giving you anything to look forward to.
No.
So it's on you to have a dream to make, draw your life and make it, plan it out, be surgical about how you go about it, and you'll be amazed at how it will come true.
Yeah. Don't let somebody tell you can't do something.
Yeah. And if they do, just use it as motivation.
Exactly.
That's right. So that's kind of what I would say to the young is if anything, look to grow a little grit and don't use the world's excuses as your own.
Good advice. All right. Where are we? What's something that you wish your customers knew or understood about your business, or maybe even the trade?
Something I would say right now, just in general for me, just that my customers sometimes are wondering where their things are or whatever it is. I'm looking for help. It's not that I can't get things pushed out. I can. It's just that I'm literally in here from 6 a.m. till 5. I go and eat with my family and have a little time with my kids now. And then I put them to bed, and then I'm out here at 9:30 at night till 2 a.m. So it's not something I plan on continuing.
Yeah,
like, we're going to grow out of this scenario.
Course.
I'm in it for the long haul. I'm not making any excuses here. Just know that I'm working my butt off, and I plan to do that for as long as I can, implement or impress it on the next Archer Custom Fab fabricator, and then that next one and the next one. And I have a feeling that I possibly may have to build those people, then find them, but you never know. That someone might be in the area, they see this, they're looking for that right kind of scenario, and we're right at that point where we definitely need the help. We have more than enough work, and it's coming in daily. And
excellent.
Yeah, big things to come.
Excellent.
Big things to come.
That's right. Yeah. No, that's good. What's your proudest business moment so far?
I think when my wife referred to us, Archer Custom Fab, as ours.
Yeah. That sense of ownership.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Any tips for people thinking of starting a business in the Bragg Creek area? You've been operating out of here for a while now.
I would say I haven't done much of this because I've been so busy, but this is part of it, is just reaching out into the community and introducing yourself. And yeah, it's a step, it's a step to be comfortable enough in your own skin to step forward and give something to somebody that represents who you want to be looked at, And a lot of people aren't confident in that way. And I'm not saying I'm fully either, but it's a step, and just, introduce yourself so people know you're there, and who knows who they know needs your work.
Yeah. Join the chamber.
That's right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's another good one.
Yeah. The chamber is good for that. Good networking opportunities. Where can listeners find you online?
We are Archer Custom Fabrication on Instagram. We are at www.archercustomfab.com on the web. On Facebook, you'll find us through Instagram.
Excellent. So we got a new segment I'm going to try today.
All right.
And it's called These Three Questions.
Oh, boy.
Even though I've asked you dozens of questions. these three questions.
Yeah, right.
Why do you do what you do?
Now that I have children, I want them to not only see that and an idea in their mind can be reality, but that isn't an easy process. And that by going through the process, the ups and downs, the journey, that there's a certain level of growth that you don't get in any other part of life. To reach, to have a dream, and then to work towards it. What I want my kids to really take out of this. What beautiful things can you make? You know,
Yeah.
I make functional art right now, but I'd love to get into art. So just creativity in general, like it's the spice of life, whether it's music, whether it's artwork, whether just conversation is a form of art.
Yeah.
So
wow, those are good values to instill in children.
Yeah, I think so. I think this world has a way of giving you all the tools, but not showing you how to use them, to show her at least the tools that I know how to use.
Yeah. It's a good dad. What would you like to see happen in the local business community?
I think I touched on it earlier. I think, Bragg Creek's an interesting town just because I feel like it's on the brink of something. There's I don't know, a frequency in the air in my estimation that it's going to expand in some way. There's going to be a lot of development in the area, and I hope that if that happens or when that happens, that we establish a community that, not that it isn't already, but one that the community isn't in charge, that we are the ones that are making the decisions, that we are the ones that we agree on the policies, and that there's maybe a new system that we use, since we don't have a mayor. And I mean, it's not a town, that if we get to that point, that we decide to maybe try a new system that could be, user based.
Yeah, more democratic.
More democratic. There's not a head. There's not a person you can go to pressure.
That wields ultimate power.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we need to get away from that standard.
Question number 3. Where do you see Archer Custom Fabrication in the next 5 years?
We probably will be moved out of here in 5 years, I think. This will always be where we'll do all prototyping, and definitely some artwork will be happening here afterwards. But likely in 5 years, I'd be aiming at having a large shop in Calgary, likely in the southeast somewhere.
Yeah.
And doing a lot bigger, a lot more bolder type of projects.
Yeah. And by then your daughter will have a welding torch in her hand.
Hey, we had I'll post a few videos, or at least a few photos of Ayla, my oldest now.
Yeah.
Just had like 9-month-old. She's not just, but and her and her cousin were in here welding there the other week, a couple weeks ago.
Right on.
But it was nice to see them with the helmets too big on there, man.
Right. It's adorable.
Oh yeah. Giving a little inspiration.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I got some personal questions for you now.
Sure.
Do you believe in Bigfoot?
I saw Kieran's answer to this, and I agree. Not until I met you. No, I'm kidding. No, I tend to think that there's more going on than meets the eye. Let's just say that.
All right. Let's leave a little mystery to it.
Yeah.
What's your favorite business in Bragg Creek?
Oh, I don't know. I couldn't do that to any of them.
Want to play favorites?
Yeah. Well, let's say I go to the bistro, the pizzeria there. We go to the Powderhorn all the time. Yeah. We go to the Cinnamon Spoon. That's one of our favorite places there. And I can't leave out Kieran Kettle there.
KK Academy.
Been a big part of rejuvenation for me. So it's nice to be part of that community as well. If you're not a part of it, you're looking for a good community, definitely.
Yeah.
Give him a shout out, and it'll be worth every bit of sweat. And
that's right.
That you will sweat.
You'll learn some things about yourself.
You will, every single time.
What did you want to be when you grew up?
I think it was in the NHL early on. I think was kind of like the
dream.
The dream, and then being a builder of some sort. I think. Yeah, I didn't know quite what that looked like.
Yeah. But, good for you. Good for you. What did your parents want you to be?
Just out of jail, I think. They just wanted to, just don't.
The payroll.
Yeah. But I managed to do that. Some close calls, but, imagine a fairly straight arrow. Some might say I don't look like that, but I'd say they're pretty proud of where I am right now. If I could answer for them, I'd see a smile on my dad's face when he comes here and visits.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. What was your first job?
I was working actually for my father at the golf course, I guess not directly under him, on the greens maintenance side of things, as a greens mower and a fairway mower.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that wasn't the first thing they put me on. They put me on the sand.
Ah, yes.
Breaking the sand wasn't much fun. That's kind of where everyone starts on the golf course.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Get the lay of the land. What was your favorite job?
Well, the green maintenance thing wasn't a bad deal, other than I still wake up early, but that was like 4:30 early. I would have to say now, it's nice being in control of your own hours and having your family so close by and being able to work on all of these different projects, and the customers actually make it that much better. Some are very challenging and some are inspirational and some need some. And that's what I'm here for.
Some are a pain in the ass.
And some, I was just going to get that.
My words, not Aaron's.
That was the next one. Stole it right out of my mouth.
Yeah. What was your worst job?
Worst job. The worst job was definitely a busser at the back alley.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I can see that.
That lasted a night and a half.
Yeah, that's got to be. Yeah, that'd be rough.
Went there for the girls.
Yeah, of course.
Didn't work out.
And apparently they're bringing it back.
Are they? Oh my God, for like the third time?
But I got to a different name.
Oh, well.
Change the name, protect the guilty.
Yeah. It was a fun bar to go to, not to work at.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Ever been fired?
Well, yes, but it wasn't because of anything negative I did. It was it's a bit of a long story, but it was because I was the witness against the manager who fired me in a assault scenario. And imagine if I knew what I knew now and I was the person I was now, that would have ended differently.
Sure. Yeah.
So the day before the 3-month probationary period, he got let me go.
Bastard.
Right. So that was the primary witness in this whole thing.
No kidding.
Yeah. So
you think he would want to keep you friendly?
Well, again, there's just, I was a much different, more naive person at one point. And now, labor laws and just the whole scenario itself. Anyway, the people that were involved are still friends of mine that I was defending or part of my side, though.
Yeah.
So that was the only time.
Interesting.
The only time. And I walked out on that back alley deal.
Yeah. Probably the point of a good decision on your part.
Nope, not this.
What was your favorite subject in school?
English.
Yeah.
English was the favorite, I think.
Nice.
I had a good teacher. That's probably why.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. I think a good teacher can make anything interesting.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. Well, we've covered a lot, Aaron.
Yeah.
I appreciate your time. Anything else you want to get off your chest or
plug
tell your customers anything?
Yeah. Well, if anybody's looking for any custom fabrication in steel, stainless steel, or aluminum, the sky's the limit, really. Just approach us with your idea. You got a problem and maybe we got a solution as well. What we do is we have engineering contacts, so do it officially.
No job too big, no job too small.
That's right.
Right on.
That's it.
Super. Thank you, sir.
All
it was
right.
a pleasure.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you, Aaron. We can't wait to see your next creation on Instagram. Check out Aaron's work on his IG account, Facebook, and at archercustomfab.com. Next week, we visit one of the most beautiful locations I've been to in recent weeks, Blue Rock Ranch, and sit down with local business owner and rancher Peter Fearbringer. Don't miss it. Have a great week.